The following program contains politically irreverent commentary. If you suffer from an exaggerated sense of self-importance, this show might not be right for you. Check with a PhD in PC, ASAP.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. Randall Terry.
Welcome to today's program, friend. When's the last time you had steak and lobster? I'm going to tell you how you can get some today, and you're going to be happy that I did. And the Obamacare website went through incredible testing to make sure that it's working. Not. We'll talk to you about that. And 100,000 dead cattle, and we'll go to the mailbag today. Let's hear from you, the viewer. We all know that you've got some great questions, and I've got answers.
It's time now for Down Home with Granny Jihad.
Allah da grappa! Boys and girls, very serious lesson. Muhammad said, whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him. So, do not become Christian. Then I have to kill you.
Welcome to today's program, friend. I thank everyone who has written to us kind words of encouragement about our son, Michael Winston. If you do not know, our 10-year-old boy, Michael, has been diagnosed with lymphoblastic lymphoma and is in chemotherapy treatment right now to defeat this cancer in his little body. I beg you for prayers that he will fully recover, and in the meantime that he doesn't get sick and that he doesn't keep losing weight. He's down 16 pounds thus far. So thank you, and I ask you to hang in there with us. If you want to go to our website, you can learn more about our son and about his condition. All right, let's talk about food stamps. If you cannot afford lobster and steak and lobster dinner, there is one way. Lane, put it up on the screen for me, would you? Check it out. Look at how it's paid for. Debit, right? Food stamps. That's how they paid for it. Look at all that lobster. Look at that. And look at the porterhouse steaks. I got some Diet Mountain Dew up there as well. So this was a $141 ticket, somebody who's on food stamps, getting steak and lobster. I don't remember the last time that we bought steak and lobster. It's clearly been 2.5 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. I don't know. But can somebody send me their food stamps so that I can go get that, please? I'm joking. Please don't, because I won't. Let me talk to you about self-respect and about the numbers, because the numbers are staggering. Right now, I want to get that number. 103.4 million people are in one of the food assistance programs. That is more people than are employed full-time. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that there are about 97 million people that are in full-time employment right now. Over 103 million people are getting some type of food stamps, as we call them. I'm going to be as tender and as kind as I can, knowing that I had a conversion, all right, and that knowing that some people who are watching this right now are getting some type of food assistance from the government, and you're not buying steak and lobster. You're being responsible with it, okay? So I'm going to tell you my little story, and then I'm going to encourage you. I adopted years ago 2 hard-to-place children, all right? That's what the social services called them at the time, and they offered to give money to me every month, as long as they were minors. They also were giving us about $1,000 a month to keep them as foster children before they were adopted. During that time, I came to realize that when the government puts a gun to someone's head and forces the taxpayer to give me money, that's not charity. It's compulsion. It's a form of high-tech theft. It's a redistribution of wealth, whatever you want to say. And so the last 5 months, and when I was in college years ago, I did get one of my either semesters or years paid for with a government grant. And so is my own restitution for the money. The last 5 checks that they gave us for foster care, which was about $5,000, never cashed them, which was twice as much as I got for college. But the point is that the government doesn't have the right to force people to care for my children. So we refused the money from the government to care for them, the rest of their minority. And it was at that time that I realized socialism is inherently contrary to the commandments of God. Thou shalt not steal. 6 days shall you labor. The 7th day rest. Let him who doesn't work not eat, Paul wrote. So I'm going to take a break. And when we come back, I want you to just stay with me, all right? Stay with me. And I want to talk about eating, food, and how we do care for one another. Because Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me. So whatever he's talking about, I want to do that. I want to feed Jesus. Every day in America, over 3,500 babies are torn apart by abortion. Shouldn't all babies, like this living, unborn child, have the right to life? Baby killing will only end when Americans see the truth of what abortion does to innocent children. You can help end this Holocaust by showing the truth of abortion in your area with a Face the Truth tour. Go to facethetruthamerica.com to set up a Face the Truth tour in your area. The babies and their mothers will be eternally grateful. How would you like to be able to reach hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of potential customers with your product or your company or your web-based business? Well, you can do that right here on this show. Every single day, we get phone calls or letters or orders online from states all over the country where people are watching this television show. Right now, we are seen in 45 cities at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time every night, and then a rerun again at 12:30 midnight. You can reach them using this show at advertising rates that are so inexpensive, it would blow your mind. So, if you're interested, contact us at the phone number that you see on the screen or the email address, and we can talk about how you can grow your business and help support this show. Hi friend, I'm Randall Terry. George Washington said, if we desire to avoid insult, we must be able to repel it. If we desire to secure peace, one of the most powerful instruments of our rising prosperity, it must be known that we are at all times ready for war. Welcome back, friend. About a week or so ago, there was a glitch with the Foodstamp debit cards, and there were a whole bunch of people that came to Walmart. And Walmart in what was that town that it was in, Lane? Spring Hill and Mansfield, okay? So this is in Louisiana. And Walmart got on one of the managers got on the speaker and said, okay, people, we know that there's a glitch in the cards. We're going to assume that all of you have $700 in your account because the computers were down, all right? People went nuts. The manager of the store said he'd never seen anything like it. Almost every single food item in the entire store was taken. Now, it gets better. While this mayhem was going on, right, people are calling their friends, come on in, bring your food stamps, let's go. It comes back up all right? The system comes back up. And there's a lady there with $700 worth of food, and in her card, she had 49 cents. 49 cents. She was detained for a while by the police, and then the Walmart people said, okay, if you leave the store, leave the food, we won't have you arrested. So here you had people who are on food stamps. Oh, and by the way, when the system came back up, everyone just abandoned their carts, said, I'm out of here. They all knew that they didn't have the money. They all knew that they were about to steal from Walmart. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be unkind. I'm not. But I want to help where I can help with self-respect. Those people who abandoned those carts, they knew that they were stealing. All right? Well, maybe the sense of entitlement, the whole food stamp mentality had something to do with that. In other words, they know now there's 15 different programs. Some people are gaming the system. Some people don't need food stamps. Some people are involved in fraud. To those people, I think all of us have a genuine and a just complaint, and maybe even contempt, all right? But I'm going to go a step further. The scripture says if you see somebody has need of this world's goods, and you don't give them what they need, how does the love of God dwell in you? If you don't love your brother who you can see, how can you love God who you can't see? Right? If your enemy is hungry, feed him. Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. But all of these corporal acts of mercy, as theologians call them, all of these corporal acts of mercy are done with the free will of individuals and families and communities. I've been in a pickle many times, all right? We have massive hospital bills mounting right now. And one of the people at the hospital said, well, you can apply for government help. And I said, we're not going to do it. I believe in charity. I said, does the hospital have internal to it any private funds that we could ask for help? And they said, yes. I said, okay, well, we're interested in that. Because that is an honest act of mercy where somebody is a millionaire and writes $1 million check to the hospital and then says, help people out with this. It's not the government holding a gun to all these working people and saying, we're gonna force you to pay for this child's health care, or we're gonna force you to pay for this family's food. So my encouragement to you is, if you are on any type of a food stamp, and in your heart you're starting to think, maybe this isn't right, then figure a way out. You'll respect yourself more. Go to your local churches. Go to the food pantries in your area. There's been points in our lives where we have needed help literally with food, and I wasn't too proud to ask. But I wasn't going to go to the government and force my neighbor to feed me. I would rather go to my neighbor and ask, hey, can I have some lobster and steak? Do you want to have knowledge, wisdom, discernment? If so, you have to read good books on theology, history, books that look at the lives of great men and women. So to help you to become a more effective Christian, a better witness for truth, somebody who can engage in productive conversation that exhorts and edifies those that you speak with, we're going to do something crazy. We're offering you these 7 books for a gift of any size. You just pay for the shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift that you can, and we will send them to you. But just to make it a little bit more crazy, I will send you a second copy of my 3 books, autographed. You can give them as a gift to your pastor or to a family member and help extend truth and justice in the world. This is while supplies last. Always remember, a broken clock is right twice a day. And there are reporters in the journalist world that do have integrity, even though they're ideologically aligned with socialism or child killing or any number of debauched, evil behaviors. Nevertheless, they still will once in a while get it right. Broken clock is right twice a day. Ezra Klein, who works for the Washington Post and is a diehard supporter of President Obama, is now slamming Obamacare because they rolled out the websites for people to sign up for Obamacare when they weren't ready. Now, I'm not making this up. They never ran a beta test. Now, for those of you who don't know how stupid that is, all right, we're a small little operation, okay? We've got a pretty nifty website. Go to voiceofresistance.com and look at it yourself. Our editing genius, Lane, he built the site, and guess what he did? He beta tested it. He made sure that the blessed thing worked. And guess what? At the beginning, there were problems. But we didn't make the website available to the public till we worked out the problems. Now you've got somebody like, I believe her name is Elizabeth Cohen, who is a health correspondent for CNN. CNN, as you might know, is not known for slamming Obama. She has tried for 2 weeks to sign up. For 2 weeks. And has not yet been able to sign up. All right? So she's blasting it. You've got the Washington Post and now CNN saying, hello, are you people insane? You rolled out a website and never beta tested it? You never stopped to see if it worked? Trying to fix a website that is now in use, all right, I heard this and I thought it was funny. It's like trying to repair your car while you're driving it down the road.
I need me an oil change. Well, hold the wheel of the car for me, honey. I think I can get down underneath there. Just decelerate. When I've drained all the oil, I want to freeze up the motor. You got to be out of your minds.
Now, off the air, we were talking, and one of our script writers said, look, you need to be honest with people and say Obamacare is here for at least 3 years, okay? We have to control, people who want to overturn Obama have got to control both the chambers of the Congress and have to control the White House, all right? That's not going to happen for at least 3 years. So what his contention was, and I have mixed emotions about this, but I let people use me as their mouthpiece. His contention is that the best we can hope for right now is that it just collapses on itself, that it is such a debacle, that it is such an utter failure that people turn away from it, that states turn away from it, that healthcare institutions turn away from it, try and get around it, try and ignore it, et cetera, et cetera. They had a 2,000-page bill, all right, which I don't know anyone who's read the whole bill, 25,000 pages of regulations. Who could possibly read all that? Who could possibly know it? They are in the middle of taking what is arguably the best healthcare system in the world and turning it into something like Canada or like England. And in case you don't know, people from Canada and England and India and other places, they come here for medical treatment because they can get it fast and because it is good treatment. We're in the middle of mucking it up, and they can't even create a website where somebody can sign up. All right, now think about it.
We're going to control healthcare.
Really? How's your website working?
Well,
I've got to take a break. I've got one more segment to do, don't I? All right, when I come back, we'll do the mailbag. Don't go away. This is a really good show. And I'm saying that because I'm vain. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today. Welcome back to the program, friend. I'm going to get to a couple questions from our mailbag, but first, a couple quick news items. Number 1, you might have heard about the 100,000 head of cattle that died in the Dakotas, I believe it was South Dakota, because of that horrible storm that hit. And it's a crisis for some of those farmers. I mean, we need to pray for them. And if you see anything where they're raising money to help some of these farmers, it would behoove you to help. These guys are in a real pickle. But 100,000 head of cattle is a spit in the ocean. Now, we tried to figure out how many millions of beef cattle are slaughtered every year. Millions. One site said 7 million, another site said 35 million. So I come to not knowing exactly, but what I know is that 100,000 is just not a lot. It's a very, very small percentage. But already there are people talking about the price of beef is going to go up at our grocery store. No, it doesn't have to go up at all because of this. If it does go up, it's the greed and avarice of some people that are manipulating the market, all right? And they should be ashamed of themselves. And maybe they should be tied to a bull, dragged around the rodeo a couple times. See how you like that? That dog will hunt, that bull will ride. All right, China. One other quick thing before I go to the mailbag. China is saying on a pretty regular basis now that we need to get away from the US dollar as the currency of the world, okay? We need to de-Americanize the world. Stop allowing America to intervene in the internal affairs of other countries by reason of the fact that, for example, all oil is traded in dollars. So by definition, the US is involved in an awful lot of stuff that goes on in most nations in the world, all right? The day that the dollar is no longer the currency of the world is the day that you and I are in for the financial crisis of our lives. Just keep your eye open on the horizon, because if somebody creates another currency, or 2 or 3 nations get together and create an oil-backed currency or a gold and silver-backed currency, and the US dollar is no longer what drives the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank and oil purchases, then we are in for a heap of trouble. And the Fed can't print money fast enough at that point. All right, to the mailbag we go. Cheryl from Mississippi writes, why should I give to your new ministry instead of your protesting, which you used to do? Great question, Cheryl. I wouldn't give to this ministry. Why waste your money? Okay, next question. Oh, I'm joking. All right. I have led protests all over the country. Been arrested nearly 50 times, spent over a year of my life locked up for peaceful protest. Drove issues right front and center because of protests, and people have given us money to support us in our efforts for decades now. And I am focusing on this TV show now, all right? Not chasing around and doing fights. So why would you support the show when I'm sitting here at this desk as opposed to being out in the street? Let me tell you, because I can teach people how to do it. I have a unique set of skill sets. I have a unique skill sets and a unique history, experience. So if you want to learn how to do something, go to people who know what they're doing. And when it comes to protesting and getting headlines and driving a debate in the political realm and in the public square, I say before, as humbly as I can, and I'm not trying to brag, but I know what I'm doing, all right? And I am using this show to teach people. That's one reason. Another reason you'd want to give is because this show is unlike any other show in the sense of we cover the news, but then we analyze it from a Christian perspective. Which leads to a final question of closing moments. Mike from New Jersey writes, why should I watch your show instead of the big stations? Should I watch both? Yes, watch the major media, okay? Then turn to us to analyze what's going on. They'll tell you what's going on, but I'll tell you why it's going on and what it means to you and what you can do to stand for justice and fight against evil. Thanks for watching.